Evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. You are all welcome, and we hope you're all safe and well wherever you are. Tonight we've got, as usual, Sarah, and we've got Through the Veil Paranormal. Thanks very much for coming in, Veil. Just, who's in chat? Always a pleasure to have you, dear. Always a pleasure. We've got Nicole, Eli, Paranormal Underworld, Life After Life. I seen old Brett there as well. He calls himself Brett Junior for some reason, you know.
He calls himself Brett Junior, Scott, because there's two Bretts.
So what Brett's that? Dobie's in. Hi, Dobie. Nicole. I think I said Nicole.
That's Butterfield.
Oh, that's Butter Boy. That's right. So anyway, thanks everybody for coming in tonight. We're going to be talking about, Vale has done 3 videos about the Mississippi, about investigations that she's done there. So we're going to be talking about, well, Vale's going to be talking about it. Evening, Nubs, thanks for coming in, buddy. I hope you're well. Hi, Dobie. So Vale's going to be talking about that. So I'll hand it to you just now, Vale, if you want to tell us a bit about why you went to the Mississippi, why you chose that location, what have you?
Yeah, well, the initial thought, I mean, I wanted to always, do the original story of St. Genevieve, Missouri, which was actually called New France back in the 1700s, whenever, the settlers came in, and it was still, part of the Louisiana Purchase. And it actually was lost to, sorry, my allergies. It was lost to the Mississippi because there is another story before I get into St. Genevieve of a town called Kaskaskia. And there was an Indian, I think he was part of the Alumni Indians, that fell in love with a girl from Kaskaskia. And they weren't allowed to be together, but they fought against the parents, so they ran off together. And the father actually caught him and drowned him in the Mississippi River. And he cursed the whole land around here that, their crops will, always be underwater. They will be cut off from the mainland, that the towns would sink, that their dead would, forever be lost to the rivers, and their churches would, fail to the waters. So with that being said, St. Genevieve actually fell kind of into that curse because a big flood came up and the whole town was lost. I mean, they say that some of the dead are, still buried underneath the settlements of the ground and everything over there. Their cemeteries, are still buried. All the churches are buried. What they didn't lose, that didn't float downriver, but they rebuilt the town 3 miles, north of where it originally set. So we was going to go down there and just see what we could find as far as, paranormal investigations. But we couldn't get exactly down there because of, fields and private property. So something just told me, come on up a little bit. And we went across, some levee roads and, walked down to where we were, which is actually 2 miles from the location where we wanted to be. I could probably walked up there, but I just started a little investigation right there and actually got into a little more than I thought I was going to get into.
So how close to you? How close to you? How close to you is that actual location to where you live? Are you far away from it, or?
I could walk to the Mississippi from my house.
All right, so it's quite close then.
Yeah.
As I say, you did the 3 videos. The first video you did, you were talking about the Dr. Franklin. Where the boilers blew up. Is that right?
Yeah.
The boilers killed people.
I actually brought that story up. I think I did. The Dr. Franklin too. The story with that, and also here in St. Genevieve, I done a little, tour of the cemetery over here. There is a mass grave of 32 people that were on this steamboat. And because I didn't know who they were, and they were, scalded so badly and dismembered that they just put them all in a mass grave, and they have a mass grave over here for them. But that actually happened probably a mile north of where my house sits. And if you want me to, I can read this little insert that they had.
Yep.
On
Yep.
Dr. Franklin. Okay. The steamer Dr. Franklin 2 collapsed on Turkey Island, and that is up by the big rock. I don't know if y'all see Media Tower Rock. That's close there too. At 11 o'clock, scalding and killing nearly all her deck passengers and crew, together with both of their engineers. It said a few of their cabin passengers, did make it. They were sent to Herman, Missouri, which is not too far from here. There were 3 or 4 cabin passengers that, were slightly injured, but, they eventually did die from their wounds being scalded. It's a big long skit, so I'm trying to get through this. It was on August 22nd of 1852 when this happened. And this is accounts from one of the engineers that actually, did make it. This is in the St. Genevieve Fair Play Times. It says, August 22nd, 1852. I know the immediate cause of the explosion. The Dr. Franklin 2 has been commanded by Captain Harkins. He is sick and on shore and did not go out. We do not know who was in charge, but supposed to was Mr. Montgomery, clerk. She is owned by Mr. Levins of Dupac, Iowa. Now, these are all, telegraphs, so they're kind of, sketchy. It goes in here that says, I seen amounts of smoke pluming. I heard rumbles and a loud explosion that actually caused the Mississippi to what they call a backfeed, which it come up off her shores. So that explosion was so great that it actually sucked the Mississippi up into that steamer.
All right.
Yeah. So that was a pretty big explosion.
That's a big bang. That's a big bang.
And there's several accounts of these. That's just the Dr. Franklin. But I think whenever I was, writing another one of my books, I'll do it as a writer too, but there's like 700 accounts of, steamers on the Mississippi that have went down. All of our trade and everything, runs along the Mississippi, even to this day with even, the natural, the newer boats that we have. They go down. And
that's that. If it's still used to this day for carrying, freight, for want of a better word, if it's still used that way.
And she's so unpredictable. They call her the Mighty Mississippi for a reason, because she can raise or lower within hours. There's sandbars and stuff that the boats do not see that, they could just, come up on and, crash that way. There's rocks and islands that are, setting in the Mississippi that nobody sees. There's whirlpools, there's undertow. There's just a lot of things. You don't even want to swim in there. I've seen people attempt it, but
I never realised. Also we've got rivers over here. We've got Thames and the Clyde, but they're nothing compared to the Mississippi. I didn't realise just how wide she was. Until I watched your video, and then you pointed to south and then north. And it's just the size. It's just incredible. It's like the width is like a lake to me, basically, compared to the rivers we have here. Our rivers compared to the Mississippi are just like wee streams. basically, you know. Did you, in your first video, there was a name John Buckman, came through quite clear.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do any research to find out who he was? Or?
Well, the only thing, it even told me a recent death, but I looked up, there was a John Buckman, but he was from Germany. He did come over to the States, but returned to Germany where he did pass away. And that was in the like 1800s accounts. And then there was a newest one, which was a John Buckman, but he passed away in 2018, and he lived probably 20, 30 miles from here. So I don't know if he enjoyed fishing there or, what the account was with that. That's as far as I got with those two that name.
Because it did come out quite quite clear on on your spirit box named John Buckman, and you were getting told to head back and take me. It sounded like a female voice.
Mm-hmm. And
it was in front of you were like a clump of trees you were in front of.
Mm-hmm.
And you could hear, head back. So I don't know if it was telling you to head back towards the trees or, whatever. What did you pick up there?
I think it was really on our second trip back that I started getting the broader picture of what was going on there. Whenever I went further in, and I was seeing a lot more, usually I see, spirits, face on, but these were kind of staying out of my view and not really wanting to be seen. It seemed like there was an urgency there. And, I had a lot of anxiety, and I felt like there was something that, need to be known, or, and I was like, there's something, wrong here, something's amiss. And, you could see me ask no questions. And it came across, to me, and then it also started coming across, our box, that, there was a body to be found. Well,
I was going to come to it, but thanks very much, Toby. I was I'll come to that bit on your episode 3. I'll call it episode 3. And in the second video, the name Emmett came through. And that came through in the third one as well. I think it came through more than twice. I heard in the third video as well. It was quite clear the name Emmett. And I think Emmett, well, you know better than me. I'm just guessing. Would have been a kind of popular name back then, like the 19th century sort of time. Might have been a kind of popular name back then. But
sorry. I was just starting to. I think I'm going to actually debunk Emmett up to the Necro voice bank, because I've been, I watch everybody's videos, and I've been noticing here recently everybody's getting a lot of the name Emmett on the Necro. So, and I really wasn't, as you could tell in that video, I was really lost at who an Emmett might even be, because I wasn't even, mentally getting that. So I'm kind of chalking that one up to, I don't know.
And the other thing I noticed in the second video, I think it's about halfway through, there's a kind of clearing, but on the ground it's like a load of branches, dry twice, long branches and stuff. And I don't, maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of sense that you're a wee bit weary about crossing over it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of debris. I mean, the Mississippi, whenever she does come up, and that area that we were in at one time was under about 30 feet of water here, just, maybe 7-8 months ago. So all that undertow and the trees and stuff, I mean, it was all piled up there. And, I was kind of leery of walking through there because I don't know what could be there. I didn't have snake boots on, and I didn't have proper pants on. I'm like not chirping through there because it's really dangerous.
Because I think I heard you, it was you or your daughter saying it was a baby snake or something.
Yeah, she was playing with a garden snake. It was out there.
I didn't sneak that. That's what it was. So that's what I was wondering because that clear and it did look a wee. It did look a wee bit iffy.
Yeah.
Aye, iffy. And I was thinking, you know, are you scared? You know, you know, on the road because to me the way it was looked at, it looked like kind of, you know, these what do you call them? Not a bear trap. You know, you get them as a hole in the ground and they cover it up with sticks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you call them. It kind of looked like, you know, something like that. But the third, I don't mean this in a bad way, no offense, but I think I enjoyed the third video more than the other. I enjoyed all of them, but I think the third video was more interesting than the other two.
Yeah,
because the stuff you picked up. How would you think?
Yeah, that third one really caught me off guard, and I really wish I could go back. And what really caught me off guard about it was the speaker box that I was holding. The Necrophonics app was not even going, so it's just, you know, a speaker box that is on. I mean, there shouldn't be nothing that come out of there, and there was this constant tone that was, you know, just coming out of there for no apparent reason. It was like white noise, but it was voice. And it took me a moment to realize what was going on. And it was a you know, that spirit that was using pure energy to say, hey, help, you know. And when I first started, you know, I started understanding what she was saying, you know, when I was getting it here, plus, you know, in the box. And yeah, that was amazing. And I wish, you know, under the circumstances, we can't go back, but I would really like to help her. I think there is something there.
Because you're quite a bad headache as well. You
Yeah,
think that was related to whoever you were picking up?
yeah, I think she was using me. Plus, you know, there was a storm coming, so she could have used, you know, that energy too. But she was really pulling on me hard to get her words out. And, you know, I was feeling nauseated because I honestly don't think that she knew that she was gone.
Mhm.
It came across to me like it was an emergency that, you know, I needed to go get help for her so she will be okay. But, you know, whatever was happening to her or what she felt was happening to her, she was projecting onto me. So, you know, I feel like, you know, I can't breathe. My stomach hurts. I'm nauseated. My head hurts. And it hit me hard that day.
I looked. That's how I was. I found the third one kind of more interesting because more seemed to happen in the third one than did in the other two. And with the body in the river as well. So it came through. There was a body in the river. So and one wee tiny bit I heard. Was it without a head or I've got no head or something like that?
Yeah, I think on the second one, someone was talking about a truck. Now, I don't know if it's just John Buckman. Again, you know, I was really confused on that. But then they said, you know, like their truck may have been in the river. You know, they were apologizing and they felt stupid for even taking this vehicle. And then they were saying, you know, I was murdered behind you and, you know, there's a headless body over here. And I'm like, what is going on? I mean,
It seemed. I mean, I might be wrong, but what I was I've watched the third one a couple of times, and when I was watching it, I was getting there was quite a few spirits about you, and they were all wanting you to go in different directions. They were all wanting you at the same time, you know. They were all trying to pull you this way and that way, and they said one particular bit. It says he's coming.
yeah.
So what was the theory I kind of had, and I say I might be wrong. It's just my opinion. But to me, I thought it was maybe some kind of landowner. I'm not sure how it worked back then, but maybe some kind of, you know, landowner or something to do with the riverboats. This, you know, this male person, whoever he was, and he wasn't a very nice person. And maybe this is who these spirits were referring to. So I did hear him say he's coming. I don't know what you make of that. You know, see, that's just what I was thinking when I was watching it.
Yeah, and it could have been to the spirits warning me. I'm gonna try not to get in too much detail because of what is going on there. Um, I was kind of, nonchalantly warned not to go down there, that, something
Mhm.
could occur. We'll just put it that way. But yeah, so I don't know if the spirits were physically warning me because there were people down there that day. They could have been warning me, hey, that person is coming. It's kind of what I felt after watching that a few times.
Did your daughter pick up on anything when she was there? Because I know she was with you all the time. Did she?
No, she really didn't pick up anything. She's she's kind of empathic, but she picks up on the darker stuff that I don't see. She's like, like my moon, you know.
Mhm.
I could, see, the light stuff and the spirits, and and she sees the things that I need to stay away from. So she stays with me on that, but she didn't pick up anything like that down there. I think it was Eli that's over there in chat. Um, he caught the man that was running down the riverbank, the shadow man, which
Mhm.
was really cool. I didn't even catch that whenever I was, putting the video together. I caught the little, black shadow thing that was playing on the ground, but I didn't see the man running back there. And as clear as it is, I just wonder if it was actually someone down there that was kind of, watching this. And whenever I panned the camera, he's like, oh, we need to get out of here. It was a kind of that kind of sudden dart off. So
Mhm. Is it quite a popular place for investigations? Or?
um not really. I mean, paranormal investigators around here are few and far in between. Mostly the rippers around here are proficient in partying.
That's it.
Yeah. So there's some sketchy stuff that might go on down there once in a while.
But nothing paranormal. But you see, you said about the black mass.
Mhm.
Is that the second one? I think it was the second one.
It
You
might
can
be
see
on. I
that.
think it's on the second one or first one. I think it might be on the second one.
Um, and seen the third one. It might sound a stupid question. Your daughter was saying you the Necrophonic app, but she hadn't started that yet. Is that right?
Hmm.
Did I pick her up right when she was saying that?
Yeah,
Eli saying, "Vale, you got to be careful out there."
yeah, most definitely. I would say hello, everybody in chat. I seen a few of y'all floating in there.
If anybody in chat's got any questions, pop them into the comments. Not just about Mississippi, but just anything in general, just pop them in, and feel free to drop your links as well, folks. Anytime you like.
I think Nicole's covered everybody with the links. She's dropped them in there for everybody.
Thank you, Nicole.
All right. Okay. Okay. So the Mississippi isn't, like you say, Tom Sawyer country, as you see Tom Sawyer, and
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
a lot different.
He got a lot. Mark Twain got a lot of his stories of Tom Sawyer from playing on the Mississippi as a kid and in and out of the caves and the caverns that we have up here. And I think that's going to be one of our next ones too, because I love the stories of the ghosts of the Mississippi is what they call it, because there are ghost lights that we are going to try to catch later. Um, there's forts, like you said. There's Mark Twain and Tom Sawyer. There's just so much to cover on this Mississippi River that I don't know if I can do it in a year, but I'm gonna start doing some more on the river if everybody's interested in seeing the Mississippi.
I'd definitely be interested in it. It's just I've always been not fascinated, but always interested in them when I saw your videos on your channel and you're down the river the Mississippi. I thought I've got to watch that. So what's the Mark Twain caves? What exactly are they?
The Mark Twain Caves are in Hannibal, Missouri, which it sets on. I think that's I'm gonna get this wrong. The Missouri River. which connects into the Mississippi, or it might be the Mississippi that runs kind of crooked over there. Yeah. But yeah, the Mark Twain caves are in Hannibal, Missouri.
So are they meant to be, are they active as well?
I heard they are very active. I mean, with, the Native Americans, I understood that, they used part of the cave system as, living quarters.
Hmm.
There was kind of like privateer stuff going on with the Mississippi and the rivers and stuff in there. They would hide in there, and they say, there still might be treasures and stuff in there that people don't know about. I mean, they haven't been through all these cave systems yet. And, it's been 1800 since they found this cave system.
So it could be really anything in there.
Anything.
Is there any ever been any reports in the Mississippi about you get as in people see ghost cars, coaches and stuff like that. What about boats?
Mm-hmm. Oh, most
Is
definitely. They say there's a little town called Thebes, Illinois, and I don't know if I ever put up a video of the courthouse. I think it was like a really short video. It was like a bad day or something, but they say if you're standing up on the courthouse at a certain time of night or something, you can see a glow that starts coming from the south of the Mississippi. And I think
hmm
it's supposed to be the steamboat, the Sultan, I think, that actually, blew up down there toward Cape Girardeau or that way. But whenever it gets closer toward the courthouse, you could start seeing, her balconies and her flumes. So it is a ghost ship that they are seeing. And then she just disappears up to about where she exploded.
Eddie was asking, was there a lot of lives lost due to steamboats sinking? Also,
Uh, Hundreds. I know just, with the Dr. Franklin, there was 32. With the one that happened in St. Louis, I'm not sure what the name of that boat was. There was 70 there. Um,
Wow.
I think over the years, I mean, if I had to put a small calculation, this is just a guess on it, when we're talking like from 1830s to, let's go to 1859, there was probably between 25 to 3,000 deaths on the Mississippi due to steamers.
that's a lot of people in it. Danny said we're talking which caves?
Which caves? No, I just know it's a cave system.
Is there any stories of any stories of witchcraft in that area? About there?
Is there a what?
Any stories or any rumours about witchcraft? In that section of the Mississippi. Obviously, we don't.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I'm pretty sure there's somebody, Green Man. I don't know where he's at. He can pretty much tell more than what I can about that because I don't follow that field or those kind of things. But I do know that they do have still to this day. They have the rituals and stuff that they still do, like even at Tower Rock. So there's still some things that go on.
So a lot of trapped souls are still lost there.
A lot. That's why they call it the ghost in the Mississippi. I mean, there's probably not one point that you could not go to and not experience something. I mean, you have Fort Del Charles, you have Fort Kaskaskia, you have St. Louis, all the way down. I mean, you get into New Orleans and down toward there and more toward, the slave trade and, what happened on the Mississippi there. I mean, it's just haunted from, tip to tip. I mean, there's nothing that you can't run into.
How long is it exactly? How many miles is it?
Well, I can Google it. Let's see. She is 2,318 miles long. And
It's a big river, isn't it?
she is about 80 miles wide in parts.
80 miles wide.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to work that out, but that would be from here to Edinburgh, but 1.5 times the size. From here to Edinburgh, about halfway back, about 80 mile. That's some.
Yeah, she's pretty wide in parts.
That's incredible. Whenever you think, I mean, whenever I hear a river, you think, just a basic, river, not very wide. But when you see things like that, it's just. And if you think back to, like the 19th century when it was in full use, for want of a better word, it must have been some spectacle. It must have been absolute, a highway basically.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. I mean, back then, why try and travel? A lot of this is mountain timbers, Ozarks, cliffs. I mean, they really couldn't get a lot of places on, cart and horse and stuff like that. So they traveled up the Mississippi. That was their highway. And I think
Well, carry on, Bill. Carry on.
I was going to think, I think on the average, she's about probably, 40 miles wide. Where they're getting 80 is because there is swamplands and stuff like that. So, I mean, they count her birth, in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I think usually she runs about, 40 feet deep. And I know like in the 37 flood and stuff like that, she got up to like, in the 50-foot deep. I mean, she's up and down.
Oh, wrong one. 47 covens at 47 covens. It's something I've never associated with the Mississippi. Was witchcraft and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Any pics of the ghost steamer?
Mm-hmm. I can look. I mean, I thought, once before they did have one.
Scott, where's the biggest river next to us? Nearest to us? Would it be the Clyde?
With the Clyde?
See, the Clyde's nothing compared to the Mississippi. The Clyde.
The Clyde, I don't even know how long the Clyde is. In Scotland, you've got the Clyde, you've got the Tay, you've got the Firth or Forth.
There's the Clyde there.
That runs through Glasgow, Vale. So as you can see, it's nothing compared to the Mississippi.
Wow.
It's it's
quite
quite
twice that. In her small parts.
Hey, yeah, thanks very much for coming in. I hope you're well. The Clyde has seen a lot of suicides in its time. For some reason, the bridges that cross it aren't all that high, but there's a lot of undercurrents and what have you in it, and it just tends to drag people down. And then you also get the idiots that try to, a drunken night out, because that bit you seen runs right through the city centre of Glasgow. And so there's pubs and clubs, like say 10 minutes walk through there. And occasionally I've heard of the idiots that have been out too many beers and somebody's dared them to swim the Clyde, and they've jumped in. And they've never been seen breathing again, put it that way.
That happens on the Mississippi too. I mean, and there was just an accident here not too long ago where a mother was parked on what they call a boat ramp, where they put the boats into the Mississippi so they can go fishing. and she was parked there, and she had her two little kids in the car. And I guess one of them had, started the car, hit the emergency brake or something, but the car went into the Mississippi. And before, she could get out there, the current was too much. It had already taken the car and put it under, and took the kids in the car and everything. I mean, and it was probably found, oh goodness, 150 miles, down before, they were even found the car washed up on the riverbanks. So it's just, all kinds of accidents that happen. Fishermen, like you said, suicides, people, go up on the bridges and stuff. There's like 3 crossings, they'll just jump off and you won't find their body, not in the Mississippi. I mean, it gets undertowed and carried to one of these, back plains or, swamp lands. It's just, hard telling. That's why I was saying, in some of those videos, whenever that body could have been there, it could have been a fisherman that fell out, or it could have been, somebody that jumped over, or somebody got tossed in, and, they just haven't found the body yet because it floated down from somewhere.
I could read. It's just it's seen the length there and the width there. I'm surprised it would ever find the body. But when you first mentioned the body, you seen the body in the river. I don't know. It's just a thought popped into my head that one a gangman killing, the underworld killing sort of thing, and dump them in the river. You see in the films. So maybe somebody's been dumped in the river. But are you going to do any more kind of videos with that? Like say split them up into 3 or whatever. Not that same, obviously. Obviously, get back there, which is totally understandable.
Yeah, I'm going to leave, that area alone. But I mean, I think I am. I'm going to go ahead and go to other spots that I know of. There's a place called Devil's Bake Oven, which sits on the Mississippi. I understand they use that in like the coven thing too, but there was a house that set up on a cliff there in the 1800s. Had to do a lot with Fort Charles, and another guy that got taken out of Kaskaskia. He was allowed to be there, so they took him across the river, and he made his own home in town out of the Devil's Bake Oven. And his daughter was engaged to a steamer boat captain, or one of the crewmates or something like that. It's one of those long drawn out stories. But anyway, she had heard that he died, and she threw herself off the balcony of their house into the Mississippi. And they say you could see her ghost a lot of times roaming the flats in the Mississippi, there where the house used to be.
So, why do you think that there's a specific reason why you think so many spirits seem to be tied to the river? I know you've seen a lot of history, a lot of deaths, accidents, suicides, etc. Over the years. There's a particular reason why they sort of don't move on. Or?
A lot of I would think that happened there on the Mississippi being so tragically and so fast that maybe, they haven't quite grasped, where they're at just yet. You know what I mean?
So they're still trying to come to terms with their circumstances, basically, for want of a better word.
And they may be in a repeat of that day, and they're just trapped there.
So before you went and started the event, was it what you expected it to be, or was it totally different? Did it, how did it? What was the difference between before and after the way you were thinking of that location? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I kind of, I had, my hopes up of where we were actually going to be in the old town. So, I knew I was going to contact some spirits. I know I was going to contact spirits on the Mississippi, but what caught me off guard was maybe the more the recent anxiety from a spirit. I mean, I was planning to connect to older things like I normally do, but that caught me off guard, especially there and why. So
Mhm.
I mean, it has my curiosity peaked, but leave it alone.
No, I mean, as I say, I've watched the three of them, and you can certainly see your kind of anxiety, and it just seemed so busy with spirits. And that one was that just the one area because it looked as if it was just the one sort of general area you were in.
Yeah, that was just a little area, and when I mean little, I was probably 30 foot by 50 that we were walking around in. I mean, it wasn't that big of an area at all.
Because for that kind of small area, there seemed
Mhm.
to be a lot of activity.
Yeah, there was a lot. And, as I sit here and I wonder, I couldn't get down to Old St. Genevieve where I wanted to go. I mean,
Mhm.
was it some kind of destiny that was pushing me to that direction and in that certain spot? Because that has happened before.
It could be. Have you ever had an area, like that small, with that much activity in it before? I know you've done a lot of investigations in loads of places. Um,
Not that small and that active. I have seen, spirits in small places, like, when I went to Boston, of course, that's going to be crowded because, a lot of old spirits in one place. But for where I was at, and out in the middle of nowhere for, that to occur, that really kind of, surprised me of having that kind of activity in that spot.
I was kind of in the middle of nowhere. See me, you were panning around with the camera. There was nothing basically.
Nothing. Wood, sand, and a few leaves.
So how far away was your car? Because I remember you saying in the first one, my car's kind of over there. So
It was probably about a mile from me. Yeah.
so if something happened, you might have been in a wee bit of a sticky situation.
Yeah, because Nicole don't run that fast and that far at a length of time. And yeah. What's going to happen?
It really get dark quite quick as well. I noticed
uh,
the sun, the daylight just seemed to disappear.
yeah, it seemed like time got away from us quickly. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I know the storm was blowing in on one of those, but I'm like, just seemed, like that Deadbeck cemetery. It's like, it was daylight and all of a sudden, wow, we gotta get out of here. It's getting dark. Yeah, I don't want to be down there on the river in the dark. So
I noticed that was daylight, and then bang, it was like well, no middle of the night dark, but
yeah,
getting
that's dark.
getting getting that, and I thought that's quite quick.
Hmm.
So has it changed your attitude towards the Mississippi?
Yeah, I think, next time I go, I think I will have a little bit more alert head on my shoulders. I won't be so freely willy of, oh, it's so beautiful down here and so peaceful. And no, we're going to pay attention a little bit more because that kind of caught me.
Are you going to take the picnic basket next time?
Oh, most definitely. I actually I got in contact with somebody that can get me access off their property, which I probably had to walk about 8 miles, but I could do that, with a backpack and everything in a tent. And I actually thought about camping on the
Mm-hmm.
river in the woods. So we'll see how that turns out.
And would you camp in that particular spot?
No, we'll be about probably about 20 miles downriver from where we were at. So, I mean, we'll still be within proximity.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So Diana is asking, hey, why does that spirit at your house have my beard? I don't know if he's meaning your house.
I say if you're talking about my guy's spirit, he has a mustache and I have a beard. and I don't see him in here presently.
So do you think the Mississippi's as active all the way up and down it? Is that one particular spot?
I think it's in spots, but all the way down it. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be. I mean, all the steamers and things that have occurred. I mean, if it's pretty active, distant spots here, it's got to be all the way up or all the way down.
He moved. I don't know what he's meaning by that.
The spirit said it was by Nicole's brown door.
Oh, it's probably Edward. Does he have a little black mustache? Because usually, he stands over there, but he's my lurker. I don't see him here right now.
Is your house still as busy?
Well, upstairs actually calmed down after our nun took care of business up there the other night. But I understand that, my grandmother woke me up out of my sleep the other night. She always called me Mouse, Tashigi. And it was like, Tashigi, she's waking me up. And I'm like, what? I've never heard her voice, that clear before. And I didn't know she was with me. But she let me know I had a puck wedgie in my house.
All right.
So I'm like, okay. I'll deal with spirits all day long, but I don't know about puck wedgies. I don't know anything about the cryptids and elementals. I heard about them. I mean, I do believe in elementals and stuff. It's a Cherokee thing. Mm-hmm. There's all things living in all creation. So
I'm no up to date with elementals and what have you as well. It's never been something I've not seen anything against why anybody's into studies that. It's just something part of the paranormal that I've never took an interest in, basically. No, I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah, I'm just not up on them either. I talk to spirits on a daily basis. I'm not trying to talk to little gnomes that have porcupines coming out of them. I actually had to look it up. I'm like, what is a puck wedgie? I don't know.
Beer brats, FTW, beer brats. I'm not sure what that means. What does FTW mean? Is that an American thing, maybe? FTW?
I don't know. I call it the beer broth, but
I've no. I mean, over here we've got FT, other letters, but it's certainly. I'm not going to get into that. FTW, I've no idea. So what's your next project? Your next investigation?
We're actually going to go out tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but it got a little late on us. We're going to be on the Mississippi again. We're going to be we always call it Fort Charles, but I think it's all French. Chartres. It's on, the Mississippi. It's on the lower, they call it Fort Pierre or something. But yes, we will be out at Fort Charles tomorrow. It's supposed to be a really interesting place.
For the one, I tell you, that must be to do with football or something.
Don't know.
I think. No idea. A sausage, Scott.
Yeah, a brat is kind of like a sausage.
All right, thanks for that, Brett. That'll be a bit of education there.
Danny leaving us?
I don't know. See, I know you're saying forts a lot. This is going to be a stupid question. I know what to say. My excuse is I'm from Scotland, so that's my excuse.
As no stupid question. Only dumb.
I take it with all these forts, it's got quite a big military background. Going back.
Yeah, like with Fort Charles, I mean, it goes back to the Revelations. Okay, yeah, Revolutionary War, which was goodness, 17, 18, 17. Oh, goodness. When was the Revolutionary War? I went to school, y'all, I swear.
Don't know, no guy. I can't help you with that one.
Let's see. Okay. The fort was built in 1720, so the Revolutionary War would have been in the 1700s. So yeah, Fort Charles, which is a French fortification built fort, is on the east bank of the Mississippi. So we'll be on the other side tomorrow, but almost right across from where we were at.
So you'll be able to see that spot that you've done your videos in.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to zoom over there and point over there so y'all can see exactly where we were.
Do you think you'll get the same pool maybe being on the other side tomorrow?
I'm
might get.
hoping.
So if you do, you're going to get back over if possible.
Well, if anything, I can try to speak to the spirits and tell them what's going on, and maybe they can give me more of a clear answer of what I could possibly legally do or not do with that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because by no means I don't want to be in any danger.
No, that's the last thing you want to put yourself in. Is any type of danger, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But it opened my eyes. Your videos opened my eyes to the Mississippi as well. As I say, I always thought, I didn't realise it was so active, so long and so wide, as well.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know it was a thing. So there you go.
It's not only the Mississippi, I'm sure, because we have the Ohio River too, and it runs the other way under Illinois, all the way over Kentucky, Tennessee. Yeah.
Did they not all run into each other?
Yeah, they actually converge, and that's another big spot that we'll be going to, where the Ohio and the Mississippi run together at the bottom of Illinois, which is Cairo, Illinois. And that is like one of the older places too. And Cairo's almost pretty much a ghost town nowadays. But I could take you right down to the point and show you the muddy Mississippi and the clear Ohio, where they actually, you can see them, intermix with each other. And then they go on down to New Orleans.
I mean, when you think of the size of America, what length it's just amazing. I just can't get my head on how big that actually is. Was there any old iron ships on the river?
Well, I mean, they are part iron. I think a lot of the steamers back in the day were, wood, and paddle boat. They had their iron boilers, but today with the barges and everything, they're made of iron. So that's.
I'm sure dams per station last river is a lot. But, did you see where all the rivers converge? I would imagine that would be really active.
Yeah, my uncle. Sorry, I didn't mean to walk on you there. My uncle used to. Well, my mom's uncle. He's my great uncle. Used to take care of the park where the two rivers can join, and it's actually got a great big walk up that you can go. It's like a platform that actually takes you out over the pier of the two rivers, and you can walk down there and see that. And he says, he gets a lot. He got a lot of stuff when he was still, with us, and he was kind of scared a few times to go down there at dusk dark and make sure there's nobody down there parking and stuff like that. They're not supposed to be doing, but yeah, he told me it's very active down there.
So is that a possible investigation for you coming up then?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, it's on our to-do list for Cairo, the river lore, the Magnolia Manor, the river fronts. I would wish and hope, I don't know, we're going to try to get into the underground tunnels of Cairo, where they used to bring in the slave trade and stuff into Illinois. that those tunnels were also used to store some of the bodies from the Titanic. Now, why they brought them all the way up into Cairo, I don't know, but there is accounts, newspaper clippings that they were storing bodies of the Titanic in the undergrounds of Cairo.
I'm not an expert on exactly where it is, but it does seem a bit far,
Mm-hmm.
To take the bodies to. We were talking about the Titanic the other day. I can't remember
Yeah.
who it was. What was it, Sarah? We were talking about the Titanic.
Just that people don't know that it's got a sister ship.
Yeah, see, I would think all the bodies from the Titanic were from like Liverpool and over there. I guess there was United States people over there. I don't.
But there's the picture there. That's where the Mississippi and the Ohio River meet. Look at the difference. That's crazy, isn't it? How it just kind of.
Yeah, the Mississippi is really muddy.
You can see the difference.
Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't believe the undertow and the current coming from both of those whenever they merge right there.
It's weird the colour, the different colour in the water, the green and the brown.
Mm-hmm. The Mississippi, her settlements and stuff are a lot more muddier. I don't know. I guess it's just how the river bottom is for the Mississippi. But they, you call her the muddy Mississippi too. Ohio's a lot clearer than the Mississippi.
Right, all the bodies in Titanic were Irish.
Mm-hmm.
I could have started this journey for Ireland and then I think went down to Southampton and then left for Southampton where it was built in one of the engineers' houses. There were, if you look at it, the way the water kind of is divided.
That's the Mississippi and the
Ohio.
The other one that begins with M.
The Mississippi and the Ohio.
No, the other one, the Missouri.
Missouri. Okay, yeah, that's up by the Mark Twain Caves.
But even at that, that's crazy how the water just totally changes.
Right, he was the ironclad warship. I've seen something about that, the iron warships.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a Civil War or something?
What research I have done, I mean, I think they had 2 of the ironclad ships, yes, but I think most of them that were involved with Fort Massac, which is on the Ohio side, Fort Charles, which is over here. I think a lot of those were like, the big, like the Nina, Pinta, and the Santa Maria ships, the big, whatever you call those ships, the big wooden ships.
I was talking to somebody today and they were saying that they actually found a steamboat buried in a farmer's field. I don't know the story to it. I don't know if you know anything about that. For some reason.
I have no idea, but if it happened around here, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, like I said, the water comes up and either, it's probably been found after all these years, the water's uncovered it, or... I
saw a photograph and it seemed quite, deep down.
Mm-hmm.
The tall ship. So the Mississippi must have seen his variety of ships up and down over the years. Just steamboats, all sorts. And I mean, as I said, I didn't realise it was that active until I saw your videos, and then I had a wee nosy about it. And see, we don't have anything like that over here. It's the Clyde and that, but it's no, as far as we know, it's no active or anything user. I say you're so lucky to stay in America.
Yeah.
It just
Oh yeah, a lot of paddle steamers. A lot of the boats that went down were the old paddle steamers. I mean, the Sultan, the Dr. Franklin, the Louisiana. Oh my goodness, there was like so many of them. I had a list of those too earlier, before we came on and we were talking.
I dare say that our rivers are there is paranormal connections to our rivers, Scott, but nobody's obviously.
Mhm.
It's not the first place you think of typically when you think of a paranormal location.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people. I mean, I kind of settle with it. I mean, spirits, do follow, water and energy. It's kind of a given, but you have all that energy. You have the currents and stuff of the Mississippi, so it's automatically a lure anyway for spirits. But then you have all the activity that did happen, so there's just so much to explore with the rivers.
the crocodiles and alligators.
I haven't seen any crocodiles or alligators. I have some giant catfish and some gar.
So back then, it's really in the 19th century, be your third video when he says he was coming, what have you. Were individual sections of that owned by different people? I mean, I take it the slave trade was quite rife around that area as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't know governmentally how they put claims on it. Back in the day, you're talking, 1800s, 1900s. Then there is a divider line in like the middle of the rivers that say this part is governed by this state, this part is governed by this state. Because even whenever it floods, in those sections, then either that town or that state, has their own, flood disaster relief programs and stuff like that. So it is governed by, state and section, I think is how they do it.
Mm-hmm. So anybody in the chat's got any questions for Vale, just feel free to fire them into the comments. I think I'm going to rewatch your videos again, the Mississippi ones. I don't know what it is. I really don't. It's just you just feel kind of drawn to it. They're just really interesting. And I know you were only like in that one wee section, but I'm not saying your other videos are boring. I don't mean that. I think your other stuff's crap, but I like your Mississippi stuff. I'm not saying that. They're correct. That's a good point there.
Oh, that one.
See,
All right. What would you consider being the most famous haunted location in Iowa? Iowa.
I don't know. I'm not in Iowa. I don't know much about Iowa.
I thought you meant the other Brett's comments, Scott, that our rivers are full of dead sheep.
Just in that one there, our rivers are full of dead sheep and shopping trolleys. It's not.
They are, because everybody up here's got a fascination about putting shopping trolleys in rivers.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Especially where my dad says there's a river about a 10-minute walk from my dad's house, and that is all you'll find in it is shopping trolleys. And swans that are very, very evil.
It sounds bizarre. I think two big supermarkets, one called Asda. I think it's your account. Oh, thanks very much, Missy. I'll put a word up for you, Missy, and see if you can pronounce it. Well, we were in Mrs. Stream last week, and she was telling stories. One was about a location in Scotland, and she got the name wrong. I'm not going to repeat the name, but I think everybody was just in fits of laughter when she pronounced the name. So that's what she's meaning with pronunciation. But no, as Sarah says, our river's over here. For some reason, people decide to. We've got like Asda, which is your equivalent of Walmart,
Yeah.
and people just tend to steal trolleys and throw them in rivers. So that's the only time we get. Okay, what state are you from, and what's the most famous holiday location in your state?
Okay, well, I am from Missouri, and the most famous haunted location, I think the one that everyone has been doing, we already did, is Missouri State Penitentiary. I mean, that's your most commercialized one, or the Limp Mansion, which is the Budweiser Brewery millionaires. Those are kind of infamous. Another one, which is only an hour from me, is the actual Exorcist house. Yeah, it's hard to put a thumb on which one that is the most famous or infamous. But with the Mississippi, I mean, around here we forget about doing it and how haunted it is because we live here, we see it every day. We experience the Mississippi every day. And we forget about it, but we don't forget about it. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, the Mississippi, I mean, why haven't I done more investigations? I mean, I hear about the ghost lights and the ghost ships. And so, yeah, I can really get into that. And I'm not sure.
I think I'd be, we lived there and we were sort of right close to the Mississippi as you are, Bill. I think I'd be there every day, just different bits up and down it. If it was really that, I said, where we live, we've got practically nothing around here. But
I would say that, Scott, we've got a lot of locations round about us, but a lot of them have either been pulled down, houses have been built on the land, or there's still parts of the buildings, but they're getting knocked down, or access to the places are just diabolical, basically.
Travel above Barrow. Oh, that's for Brett. That one.
Yeah, I wonder if Velisca and Lizzie Borden have a connection. Was it somebody traveling through? Just a curiosity, piqued my interest. One of those two properties.
I know I'm going to a different location now, Vale, but what's your take, Brett, just?
My most convincing location? Wow. We'll be more specific. Like where I get more evidence.
I think Brett probably. Where you found the most evidence.
We have a very haunted place half an hour from where I live. It's called the June Haunted House. You Google it and it comes up as one of the most haunted places in Australia that isn't a jail, river, etc.
Yeah, see, I haven't been to a lot of these commercialized places. I've been to Bobby Matthews. Paranormal Underworld took me a little tour through the Bridgewater Triangle. I mean, I was pretty convinced out there. I've been to Missouri State Pen, but a lot of these are just little backwoods places that I've been. I mean, I've gotten a lot of evidence from both places. Watching my hair being moved as long as it is, watching it, come up and being moved over my shoulder. EVPs just, without the box or anything, just, spoken through the air that you can hear as clear as my voice. I mean, shadow figures that I've actually, caught. So I can't say which one is the most convincing to me. I can tell you which one is the most disappointing.
What one's that?
It's actually Bobby Mackey's. I mean, yeah, I had some things that happened, but I was really upset that they, put so much into that place that it's so bad, and they even had me hyped up to be kind of scared in there of what was going on, the hail, the whale, the hail, and all that stuff, and demons, and maybe as a psychic medium, I shouldn't be floating up in there, but really, it was just a bunch of misunderstood ghosts. I mean, they get tired of seeing people coming in and out there so much, and they're not heard, and people's not speaking to them, or they're just really overlooked. Their stories being mistold, and that's the negative energy that I got from that place. I mean, it's a nice old place, but I mean the spirits are lovely. I didn't get everything that I was hyped up, thought I was going to see. Even though I did get my neck hurt, I did get followed home. That was no lie.
I've watched a documentary on that place, and they did hype it up, as you say, Vale, to it was really active and evil, and I think it was the well to hell no meant to be in the basement.
Yeah, and that guy Carl, I think I read after I got from there. I was reading that he actually had a dream and was digging it up with his hands or something, and he was possessed. And okay, I don't know on that, but I didn't find nothing there.
But a lot of these places that like all the famous kind of locations, the more you go to, the kind of more that stuff isn't going to happen because the spirits will be sick of seeing people.
I think pretty much. Or I think it's too, kind of like, and I hate to say this because, I mean, then I put, a dark spot on a lot of things, but like with the Missouri State Pen, I mean, I think a lot of these commercialized places, they need the money to keep running. I mean, the Missouri State Pen is really falling in. It's getting in disrepair. I mean, one needs a whole new roof on it because a tornado took it off. But they're saying, oh, it's haunted, it's so evil, and we're seeing shadow figures. And no, I don't. I'm having trouble believing that just yet. I get more activity, and I think it was Jax, or maybe it was Ghost Ops, or somebody said it, that you get more activity out of these private homes and these little investigations than you do with these big commercialized places. I don't know if they're panning for money or making it worse than it actually is to get the thrill seekers, or is there actually something going on for paranormal investigators to go in there and really find out?
That's I mean, it's like Grief Rise. Grief Rise is hyped up to be, as late as the most haunted cemetery in the world. Basically, that's it's officially called. But you hear all these ghost stories. I was going to say no ghost stories. Stories. Don't go there. It's terrifying. Don't go in at night time. Blah blah blah. And see, we've been there loads of times, and it's totally peaceful and calm. Doesn't matter what time we go. There's nothing. If high-profile TV teams film a location, it turns into a money spinner afterwards with lots of the locations. Yeah. That's true, Sam, because this is my opinion again. If a TV team got in a location, then other people are going to want to go, like East Drive, over here. That's been done quite a few times by various ghost shows, and they've all come up with stuff. Above Paranormal, he's our kind of expert on his drive. He can tell you about that. I know it's just, I think it's £200-300 a night. Is it £200-300, Brett? £200, something like that. To go and visit the place, you know, to do an investigation, and it's like 7 nights a week. And so it turns into a money spinner basically afterwards. I'm not saying East Drive isn't active, you know, I've never been there. I've just seen documentaries now on it. But there you go. That's Brett's official opinion.
Some of these places are ridiculous. I mean, it was like, you know, I'm glad, you know, someone, you know, appropriated us to go, but it was like the Missouri State Pen. For 2 people to go for a 5-hour tour was $300.
So that's about £200 in our money, maybe roughly $250.
Yeah, for 5 hours.
2 people.
2 people.
East Drive's £300 per night. So if that's 7 nights a week, that's over £2,000 a week they're pulling in just for people to go and spend, you know, a night or a couple of hours in that house. That's $300 is about £230-240. It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
you know.
and a lot of these places want, you know, thousands of dollars for just, you know, a few hours. The Lizzie Borden house, I think I was looking at that, and I may be wrong on this, but you can look it up. I think for the whole house to rent it for like one evening for an investigation was like $4,000.
$4,000.
Yeah. I was like,
Does
wow.
somebody actually own the house, or is it owned by the? I don't know. It's a council we have over here. I don't know what you have over there.
I think it's owned by a private individual. I'm not real sure on that. I really haven't, you know, tried to read too much into it because, you know, I do want to go in there and, you know, kind of investigate. But I think it's owned by private people now, but it's expensive. And yeah, like Ops just said, $1,200 a night for Moundsville in West Virginia. I mean, if you got big teams and you can split it up like, you know, we are, it's not bad, but it's still, I think it's a money pit for a lot of these places just because, you know, we want to see something, experience something.
Mm-hmm. And they're just cashing in it. East Drive is owned by the guy. I was looking for that film the other night, Brett, when the lights went out, and I can't find it. I don't know whereabouts am I most likely to find it. £20 is the most I paid for a location because it would be a large team with us and me split the cost. You know, that's fair enough. The Covenanters prison in Greyfriars is 220, Sarah?
Yeah.
And that's for an hour and a half. You know, that's an hour and a half and that's it.
Or you can go into somebody's house for free that actually has doors that move and dishes that fly, and they're like, please just come and take a look at it.
Well, that's it. You know, you shoot there, Brett, you call £10 in a pot noodle. That I wouldn't pay a pot noodle to investigate his house. We see it, you know, to join the rich team to investigate, but I had to pay. But it's too. Do you think Vale is too commercialised these days? You know, all these famous haunted locations, like you're talking about the penitentiary and East Drive, Greyfriars, and then his ghost officer saying WV. What was it, WV prison or something?
Yeah, West Virginia.
I thought that stood for war veterans. It was West Virginia. I thought it was war veterans. Sorry, ghost officer. I just seen the WV. I thought I'm for the UK. That's my excuse. You know, that's my get out of jail card every time. By the way, I'm in the UK. I don't know. I thought he meant war vision. I'm doing it again, aren't I? But we were on Brett's panel last night, and we were saying that anywhere can be haunted. You know, from a a penitentiary down to a bus station, a public toilet. You know, it's not necessarily always the building. It can be the, you know, it can be the land and.
You'd be surprised. Yeah, I think it's getting all commercialized. I mean, a lot of these, big production companies do come in that, do these big paranormal entertainment shows, and they want a piece of the pie of that. And then they're like, well, these big entertainment people have been here. We're still going to charge that because they've been here, and that makes us more famous.
Mm-hmm. So that is a place that really cares about documentaries. To me, they shouldn't charge, these places, maybe they should charge a big TV company, maybe, I don't know, but for just like individual teams want to go in, I really don't see why they need to charge. Obviously, they want to make money, but
I know you got to keep the lights on and stuff like that, but charge people like you would at a regular hotel. You got to pay your light bill, you got to pay the toilet flush bill and stuff like that, and do the laundry for the linens and the beds and stuff like that. But I don't understand these big outrageous prices, especially these places that are not hotels. I mean, like the penitentiaries and stuff where we're walking around and not even sleeping. I mean, if the lights aren't on, then I know they got to pay taxes, but you shouldn't be paying no outrageous amounts on some of these places. It's just, I don't see it. I can understand a little bit. Yes, you got to keep operations going. You do have your local, state, and federal taxes and stuff on property and things like that has to be paid to keep these places. But we shouldn't be paying it 15 years in advance.
That's it. I was going to say that. Charge a small fee, but make it reasonable. No like $300 or $4,000, and to some people $4,000 might be 3 months' salary or something, 4 months' salary, whatever. Just to go and investigate for one night. It's just most of this evidence comes from places that haven't been investigated much about. Commercial places really produce anything convincing. Exactly. Exactly. There's because they're all hyped up by TV shows via Hollywood. They do it. These ghost shows get in these places like Bobby Mackey's. They get in these places, hype them up, and people see it on TV, and they believe it must be true, and they go and they'll pay X amount because they saw it on a particular show, and it's. With this drive, you can't even use a cooker in the kitchen, so you have to eat out as well. It's really just, it's just disgusting. It's people are wanting to find out what's in their house or something, or what's in a particular location. And if somebody's willing to come in and investigate it and maybe get an answer, then they should be saying, the door's open and you come. Let me know what you get. It's the same as, I suppose, you see some of these mediums that charge and all the rest of it. It's I'm talking about your sort of local mediums that will charge some poor wee woman, £50 to £60 for readings and what have you, stuff like that.
I think I just made one of those mad yesterday, and if you're watching, I'm sorry. But they actually came to me and said, how much should I charge on psychic medium services? And I said, well, if you're a legit psychic medium, you shouldn't be charging anything for a gift that was given to you, in my opinion. And they literally slashed back with me that, my opinion was not needed. And I'm thinking, well, then why didn't you ask me to begin with? I don't think you should charge. If you have a gift that you can use to help somebody or in any situation, just do it.
Exactly. There's not even a single item in the house that's from the original haunting. It's just been filled with old junk from charity shops. probably
It's
just for
amazing.
effect. But no, as you say, Bill, if you get a gift, and you know, we get the gift, and somebody said to me weeks and weeks ago, you know, if you're good at something, then you should get paid for it. But to me, that's not necessarily the case, you know. So we get the gift for nothing, just to cost us anything. So why should we charge? That's different if you're a lawyer or you know some kind of big site. You went to university and you paid, you know, to learn that. So you should charge for it. But mediumship, it doesn't cost you anything. So I'm with you 100%. Don't charge me a cup of coffee.
Sure.
No, cup of coffee. A wee biscuit maybe. That'd be all right. Cup of coffee and a wee digestive biscuit, and we're all right. You know, we'll call it quits. Basically.
Yeah, because I had someone interested in. They actually, you know, wanted to know what was going on at their hotel, and they actually came to me on a business matter, and I was like, okay, you know, fine. I can show up at such and such time, you know, let me know what works best for you. And then I got an email shot back. Well, this can work at this time and date. We usually charge about this amount of money for an investigation. I was like, you come to me for my help and you want to charge me?
That doesn't make sense, does it?
I'm not coming. I don't think so. So
How does that even work? I mean, I want you to help me, but you need to pay me to help me.
yeah.
That's, we've got a friend, she says nearby, she's wanting us to do an investigation in our house. This is a few weeks ago. But obviously, current situation, etc. And I says to her jokingly, you know, I think I says it would cost you £50 or £60, which would be, I don't know, roughly about $100 in your money. Roughly that. I said, we'll come £50, £60. And she's like, no, that's fine, that's fine. I had to mail her back and say, listen, I'm kidding on. You know, I'm kidding. As long as you get, you know, as long as you get coffee in your house, that's it. We're sorted, you know. But
right.
you know, see, well, that's fine, you know. She was going to pay maybe $100 for us to come up and look at her house. Whoa, no. It was a joke, you know. Hey, it's amazing the amount of times you mail somebody, put an LOL at the end of it, and they don't get the LOL. They think you're serious.
Yeah.
And you need to mail them back saying, listen, I was joking, hence the LOL at the end of it, you know. But that's bizarre. Somebody charging somebody to help them is, you know.
That's
It states on our business flyer that we are a non-profit organization. In other words, you know, I'm not asking you for money, and I'm not giving you none either. Just I'm coming to check it out for the experience, for the history, and for the proof and evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And maybe to help, you know, if it's somebody's house, maybe to help them if possible. You know, the film isn't even accurate to the original case yet. Oddly enough, these paranormal teams always claim to have occurrences that only happened in the film, not the original haunting. Haha. We done that the Winchester house the other night, and we're talking about the Winchester film. I don't know if you've seen the film Winchester with Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
What do you think of the? What's that? Did you see Sarah shaking her head there?
Yeah, I've seen the movie, but then again, I mean, just like about Paranormal said there, I mean, it is a movie. I don't go into the accounts of actually what happened there because it is one of those places I do want to go. I don't want to hear the complete history. I want to hear it from Sarah, you know, or I want to, you know, hear it from the spirits that may happen to be there. Is it actually, you know, I do know, you know, it's supposed to be about a curse and she built the rooms for the spirits, but is that what she did or was she just nuts? I don't know. Of course, I think all entertainment industry whenever it comes to horror films, to paranormal. I mean, they are there. That is their job to scare you. I mean, paranormal sometimes ain't all that, and it's surely not going to sell because sometimes we'll sit out there for 5 hours and get nothing. I mean, you're going to hear crickets, looking at trees, and a few bugs flying around. Who wants to go to the movies and see that?
No, that's true. Sam saying we actually paid for a location. It was free because we just gave them money because they were restoring the house. Well, yes, I suppose that's fair enough. A donation, I think.
Yeah, but not an arm and a leg. I mean,
I don't know. But a lot, as you say, Vale, a lot of these movies do. I mean, I'm a big horror movie fan. Sid will tell you, I love my horror movies. I love when guts, you know, and all that. People getting their heads, all that kind of thing. But a lot of them aren't true to life, basically. I think. And I think people, no offence to anybody, these people who don't really understand the paranormal watch these films, and this is the impression that they get the paranormal because they maybe seen like Friday 13th or I don't know, Women in Black or something like that, and you know, they think, oh well, that's what it's like, you know, and well, it really, you know, it's nothing like that.
yeah, I had somebody actually come to me. It's been a while back before I actually, got onto YouTube, and I was just doing, my own little, interest in, hauntings and stuff like that. And this girl asked me, she said, so, you go to these cemeteries and you look for spirits and haunted houses and stuff. She said, are you like Gothic? I was like, why do I have to be Gothic to want to speak to the spirit? She said, oh, I was just wondering. She said, do you use like any kind of rituals or candles or have to do anything? What have you been watching? It's like they automatically have this assumption.
Aye. Charmed or something. You know, I've been also watching Charmed or something.
Yeah. I'm sitting out here in my blue jeans and a t-shirt with a broken radio.
I think he's got to invite a private residence free of charge in there for second investigation. The charge is $1,500. That to me, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. I mean,
Always claim. I mean, that's just it's. And they always claim a second investigation as well. I heard something about that a few weeks ago. Somebody was talking that this team, as a UK team, I don't know, Brett might know who they are, or maybe Sam. They went to look at a house, and the moment they walked in, they said, oh, it's definitely active. Definitely active. We need to come back again and do a seance or a cleansing or something. And they were going to charge this ridiculous amount of money. And it turned out that there was nothing in the house. It was something to do with a couple that stayed there. They'll come back to me the story, but they were going to get back and do it, and they'll say, well, it'll cost you X amount for us to come back in, and we'll clean the house, you know, make sure it's okay for you. But I think they were stopped. I think somebody told the couple, you know, no, don't entertain them. I'm trying to remember what it was. It's more common than you think in the UK.
I think it's common going on.
Unfortunately, the paranormal field is something that is very easy to deceive people. You know, it's very easy. Anybody can claim they're a medium. You know, I'm a medium. Exactly. Well, that's it, Bill. That's it. They aren't anybody qualified to remove anything. Brett's got a valid point there. I mean, you know, all these teams think that they can go in and do, you know, exorcisms or whatever you want to call it, but and they're just like saying, we would never get into anywhere and say, right, you know, we can get rid of Casper for you, you know, because it doesn't work like that at all.
Yeah.
But a lot of these teams think that they can.
I think we'd get rid of wee Casper. I'd just tell him to come home with me.
I was using Casper as an example, basically, you know.
I know.
It's so unfair, especially when there are teams who are genuine and get tarred with the same brush. Exactly, Dobie. Exactly. It's the same. I don't know if you agree or not, Vale. It's the same when people get outed as fakes as well. I don't do private houses without a team because I don't pay for public liability insurance, but the team has.
Yeah. A lot of these places, I mean, it is best to have some kind of insurance. I mean, you could fall down their stairs or something like that. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, and obviously, a lot of people do want this insurance because they don't want a fake accident to occur and be sued. So yeah, it's a lot, you know, cheaper if you do buy personal liability with a team than it is buy it for yourself. But yeah, I understand what he's saying.
Adobe said it's so unfair when the teams who are genuine get tarred with the same brush. That is, I mean, it's unfair because if somebody gets, you know, one team gets caught faking it, then it, as I've said many times, it sheds a bad light on everybody, you know. You're thinking, well, he's fake or they're fake, so the rest of them must be fake. And as I said, it's the paranormal is that kind of, it's so easy to deceive people on, to say anybody can claim they're a medium, etc. And people listen to them.
Yeah,
I know. I was
why
just
we're having trouble. I mean, with the paranormal people. I mean, that are really into this and really want to prove something, and we keep running into this wall that has been built up by, you know, media and, you know, people faking it for the thrill. That, you know, we're not really, you know, getting anywhere through the minds of people because of this big smoke screen that has been put up, that this is what the paranormal actually is.
Another thing that annoys me is if people get, you know, a capture, maybe a sound, an EVP or a photograph, and they say, this is, you know, this is a ghost, this is paranormal. I always feel it's better to have a kind of open mind. All you need is a release for clients to sign and form the client investigators get hurt. They're not. That's a simple form would probably cover that as well. But you know what I mean, Bill? If people, you know, they get captures of definite. What was that?
Scott's unplugging stuff, clearly.
I don't know what that was. I heard a thump, but there's nothing.
You've obviously unplugged something because your computer's making noises.
Well, no, unless I can unplug it with my feet because my hands are in front of me. So I must have unplugged it with my feet or something because I don't know. I just heard I thought, however, nothing's on fire, so that's the main thing. Oh, nothing. What do you think of that? And I also join my channel if you sincerely believe fart spray gets rid of spirits is more liable to work than using sage that you don't believe in.
That's pretty funny.
That's a one. What do you think of these people that say, you know, come on and say, I've definitely got something. I've definitely got a picture of a ghost. Do you think it's better to say, would you think?
Yeah, I would say, you know, I kind of value your opinion in this. What do you think? And, you know, you send me a picture, you know, I could tell you what I think or what I don't think.
just,
you know, don't be mad if I tell you, kind of enjoy that cigarette smoke that you blowed in front of the camera there, but because, you know, with, you know, pictures, and I've done this since I was younger, and I've tried to tell people, you know, it's just one of those things that I do. I don't know if it's, I guess it's a gift. I don't know. But looking at pictures or even looking through the video screen, it's a feeling. I call it a spiritual feeling. And I could feel the spirits either in a photo, on a video, just as well as if I could feel like they're behind me. They kind of, you know, they're there. So if you hand me a picture and if it's not a spirit, I'm pretty sure I'm going to tell you, I don't see nothing there.
I know exactly what you mean. There's a group, it's with Natalie, she's been busy lately, so we've not seen much of her in the chatting with. It's called Ghost Ramblers. And she put pictures up on her Facebook page, and sometimes I'll pick up things in the pictures. Sometimes I'll know. She put one up about a month ago, something like that. That was just a picture beside an old building. She doesn't usually put locations or anything up. She'll just put, you know, the photograph up. She put one up maybe about a month ago. It was beside an old building, and there was a second floor window. And I get a strong feeling that there was a woman kind of, I don't know if you've ever seen, is it Downtown Abbey or something?
Downton Abbey.
I love that TV series.
What's it called?
Downton Abbey.
That's, I always say Downtown Abbey, but however, she was for that kind of era. Her hair was pulled right back, and she was looking down her nose with a kind of disgust look. And so I mailed Natalie and told her, you know, did you pick up the woman? And she mailed me straight back to say, you know, my friend was with me, and she said the exact same thing as you said. I says, I don't know what it is, but I can see her standing in that window. So I know what you mean, Vale. Sometimes you'll just look at a photograph or a video, and it'll just, you can see it in your head, you know, Downton Abbey, right? No, I don't have a plan to watch it, but you know.
It's really good.
There's Brett saying they might start peeling labels off of fly spray and relabel it as ghost spray and sell it on Etsy.
Possibly an idea. I've no doubt that it is very good, Bill. Doubt the you know, but it's just not my. Sarah tends to watch a lot of crap TV, you know.
Shocking. I've not watched Downton Abbey.
Some of the stuff she watches takes a bit of belief. I mean, I like Blood and Guts and that, but I'm not going to name the programme, but there's one programme in particular where the woman's dead, but she has to eat people to stay alive. And she's married, and her husband's all right with this. He helps her find people to eat. Is that right, Sarah?
Aye, it's good. It's on Netflix. Santa Clarita Diet.
Interesting.
I was going to name it, but you get the picture, Vale. Hopefully, you know, some of the stuff that Sarah watches.
It's a bit more complicated than that. The woman eats clams that are infected, so she then kind of dies, but she's not dead, and then she's got to eat people basically.
Just, you know,
it's good. It's quite good.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know.
There you go, Paranormal Chapel knows what we're talking about. With Drew Barrymore, exactly.
That's quite sad. He knows what it is. Now, if Sarah was to come in to me one day and say, you know, I'm dead, but I'm alive, and I need to eat people, so you need to give me a hand to find them, you know, no bother, Sarah. You'd be out the door, wouldn't you? You'd be off, you know. But this is the kind of rubbish that she watches, and she moans at me because I put it down, you know. I always laugh when team. We got a wee bit off topic there. I do apologise. which such places water to sell, so it comes out of the nearest tap. I don't know much about it. I know what holy water is and what have you, but do you think there's people that actually do that, just fill the bottles up with tap water and claim it to be holy water?
Yeah, I kind of believe that. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't do that. I mean,
This might be a stupid question, but like, see, holy water, what makes it holy?
it's been blessed.
It's been blessed. It's something we don't hear a lot in our area is exorcisms, and I don't think you hear very much about them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Bill? I don't know how it is over your neck of the woods. Exorcism wise.
Yeah, exorcisms, they're few and far in between, but I understand that, the Catholic Church is sending a lot of people to school for that. I just haven't, heard of any recently. Maybe they're just keeping it out of media. I know a lot of people are chalking it up to mental illness. I don't know right where I stand with that. I mean, I do believe that there are demons. I have, encountered one for myself. Um, they're powerful, but I've not heard of any recent exorcisms near me, except for the exorcist boy in St. Louis that was in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. So natural window over something when you find the tower. See that's the other thing with some of these shows. Everything's demonic.
Yeah, not always. It just might be, and I've said this a million times. It might just be a spirit that you have overlooked. You cannot hear them, you cannot see them, and they just, with anybody. I mean, they are people. If I got overlooked enough and I was trying to get my point across, you darn right I might throw a cup at you, get your attention, or a shoe or something, So, and that's what they do, it's they might come across as dark spirits and they're just really angry because of, something that they don't like that you're doing, or they've been, mistreated in a way, or you mistreated their house or anything like that. I mean, if you truly ran into a demon, and I talked to a friend of mine who was on their stream the other night, and I ran across one in my lifetime, and I always try to say, whenever you come across it, and tell the difference between a demonic spirit and just a really mad human spirit. It takes a lot for a human spirit to gather enough energy to move the slightest of things. So if they're moving a glass or a door or something, they're really trying to get your attention, and it takes a lot of energy and time for them to do that. With a demonic presence, it's instant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he was telling me, and it happened with me also, you can feel the vibrations in the ground. You can feel the fear. I mean, a human spirit, I mean, yeah, they will scare you like a bully would. You kind of don't want to go to school because you might get your butt beat again. That kind of little fear.
Mm-hmm.
But a demonic fear will stay with you for the rest of your life. That's what they do. That's how they work. I mean, it will, slowly, bother you and consistently bother you. I mean, they put that fear in you. And if you ever ran into a true demonic spirit like some of these do on these entertainment shows, it's not funny. Because you wouldn't be talking about it.
I think as you say, so a lot of spirits could just be a grumpy spirit.
Mm-hmm. I ran into a lot of those. I had an old man that didn't like the kids that this lady had in their house. And, he was in his 70s, and kids running back and forth. They're screaming, they're hollering, they're playing. We're talking, little girls. These girls were probably 4 and 6, so they're playing, and they're girls, so they're hollering, and they're carrying on. And, he didn't appreciate this. He wanted his quiet time. And so at certain times of the day, and it usually was about the time they got home from, their school, or the youngest one got off the younger bus, and the activity would start happening. Well, I got over there and got to talking to him, and it was because of the kids. He don't like kids, and I'm like, hey, y'all gonna have to live together. He was knocking pictures off the walls, and he was trying to scare them while they were, in their beds and sleeping at night. He was even lashed out at a couple of them, just like grumpy old people would, hitting kids and stuff like that you supposed to be doing. But we finally come to an agreement that he's going to have to live with them. I mean, yes, it's still his home, but it is now their home too, and they're going to help you take care of it. And you could get somebody in here that's worse than these people, so you might as well need to start getting along. I said, maybe we can fix a room with your own private space. And the homeowner actually was like, well, yeah, we can do that. And he actually, agreed that he would pick a room. And still to this day, she has it, fixed like 1950s bed and dresser in there, and an old ashtray, and it stays closed. And she has his name on the door. The kids do not go in there. He has his private time, and they do not have a problem.
So that's the thing, it sounds like the ideal setup. But as you say, it's just he's not demonic. He just doesn't like kids. He doesn't like noise. But we like that in the physical as well. We get times where we just want, a bit of peace and quiet, or as you were saying about being ignored. If you're trying to talk to somebody and they're just totally, blanket, you get annoyed. And it does. And spirits no any different. But I think a lot of these shows you say that's demonic. I heard a grunt. That's demonic, and I think them doing that also affects people because people start to believe them, and so if they hear a grunt in their house or whatever, that's a demon, because I saw that on that such and such TV show, so we've got a demon.
Well, just imagine, I mean, if your feelings are hurt or, you're upset about something, but you can no longer speak, you can no longer be seen, you can no longer get your emotions across. I mean, just imagine that as a person now. How would you express yourself if you could?
I mean, there's only one way you can, knocking a picture off a wall, knocking something off a fireplace, or whatever. The only way you can is with a baby. A baby can't talk. A baby can't tell he's tired or sore, so it cries, and that's the only kind of communication there is. So, to me, spirit is the same. It'll use whatever means it can, and if a spirit thinks, well, I'm going to knock that picture off that wall because that's going to get me attention, then that picture's coming off that wall one way or the other.
Yeah.
Or if I need to, knock Uncle Harold's picture off the fireplace, then that he's off, he's coming off. Right. That's just my opinion, basically. I don't know what other people think. But no, it does. I saw that comment yesterday. I don't think natural mineral water, some companies was found to be tap water. I dare say that goes on. We'll just fill it for the tap, and claim it's mineral water. A chapel, he's an ordained minister, I think.
Those above Paranormal saying you can't wait for Coca-Cola to start selling holy Coke.
I doubt that'll ever happen, Brett, but we can't, one can live in hope, I suppose. But no, I think demons, I'm not sticking up for them, Vale, in any way, but I think demons get blamed for about far too much,
Yeah. No, I agree with you there.
It sounds like I'm, all for the demons and that. I'm not. I just think people should, if something happens, and take a step back and think about it first before they tag a label to it.
Demons have a true mission and intent, I believe. Kind of like, you're given your general commands from your squad leader there, and that's what you do.
But basically, yeah. I mean, I've heard it put that way before. You know, they take their instructions off their boss, basically, whoever that is. You know, I know everybody's got their own different beliefs and what have you. You're only going to see a spirit or yes, a demon if they want you to see them. He's totally right there. You know, that's what I believe. That's the only time you see a spirit if they're in the mood to talk to you.
I mean, sometimes they hide from me. I mean, and that's okay. I can still hear them, but I mean, a lot of times I see them as full on people. But it's like, down there at that river, I couldn't see anybody, and I think I mentioned that in the video. I said, it's really strange that I don't see anybody.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there was you knew they were there basically.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Holy Coke only comes out at Christmas. There's very good and bad people. I feel a positive and negative vibes with energies related to the paranormal. What's your opinion on that, Vale?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, yeah, there's good and bad people. There's good and bad spirits. I mean, said it many times. Spirits are people. We have our good days. We have our bad days. There's things that we like, things we don't like. I mean, human interaction, human people. I mean, you're going to get negative energy some days. Some days that spirit might be in a good mood, and you won't have any problems at all. I mean, one day they could just be in a really cranky mood, and
they're off days, or if they were a grump in the physical, then they're probably a grump in spirit as well. I have scars on my legs from being grabbed. Was it a demon? Don't know. Was it a spirit to pull me out of the way? Don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say there, really. I mean, if you were in danger, and I think with a human spirit, as far as grabbing people, yeah, I mean, it is possible, but it's a quick reaction, and it's just like how people can move cars and stuff like that with a sudden burst of energy and a reflex. So for a human spirit to reach out and help somebody in that way, I mean, yeah, it is possible. And of course, we all know demons can grab a hold of you. I've had one grab a hold of me before and toss me like a rag doll. So. Demons are portrayed in the Bible as being cunning. They are very cunning. They are deceivers. They can act like children. They can act like a lot of things, and we lost Scott.
I know. He was talking, but there was no sound, so obviously he's done something. I think he muted himself.
That's probably what he unplugged a while ago.
Yes, Scott. Welcome back.
There
he is.
Just fixing the plug. I did actually hit against it. It's a wee bit loose going. Me too, Nick, but Scott said sod off. To what? What did I miss? I wasn't away that long, was I?
You were away 5 minutes.
Hi, Claire. Thanks for coming, Doc. Hope you're well. When did I tell Brett to sod off?
I don't know.
He's such a drama queen, so he is. That's the wrong comment.
Because Brett said that he wants a hoodie and a cap and a cup.
I did tell me so. Well, it wasn't sod off. It was actually something else, but I'll not say that. I have the power to bless any item with their own intent, but you have to really believe in yourself and your power. Just my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I think shadows meaning kind of like faith.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what she meant. I mean,
how important do you think faith is in the paranormal?
I think faith has a big thing to do with it. I mean, and I'm not just talking Christian faith. Whatever you hold powerful in yourself, um, whatever keeps you going every day. I mean, your faith. I mean, the one thing that you hold true that keeps you safe or feels that keeps you safe from
Mm-hmm.
darkness or darker entities. I mean, yeah. I mean, you keep that with you for sure. I mean, if you believe that there's a chicken god, then I mean, carry you some chicken feathers with you. I mean, I'm not laughing about that whatsoever. I mean, I'm just saying, just like like the voodoo. Um, there is a big belief system in there. I mean, the higher, it's all the power of the mind and how people think and stuff like that. And I think it works with with all cultures and faith and what you can protect yourself with. So yeah, I think faith is a good thing.
I agree with you with faith, but if you go to try and protect yourself before you do an investigation or you're in somewhere or whatever, then you need to you do need to have faith,
Hmm.
to believe in whatever protection spell you're going to do, a prayer you're going to say, whatever it might be, whatever your own beliefs in. So you do need to have faith to have that belief, to make it work. Basically, that it's going to work. Um, I
Yeah,
think
I
that's I
mean,
think that's what I mean.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. And I don't know. I think I kind of put a kink in the whole thing that as paranormal investigators always say. You cannot attach yourself to us, our equipment, um, our cars or whatever. Apparently, that's not in the works anymore because I had one to follow me home twice now. So I'm
mhm.
guessing as people, I mean, if you're going to tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it anyway. So I think that the power of word of saying that you just can't do this and you can't come with me is just, well, make me, you know. So we really need to watch there. I mean, there's got to be a spiritual protection. I mean, whether it's stones or salt or something in there, but just saying that you can't come with me, I don't think that's actually working because it's happened to me twice now. I'm trying to not make three times a charm.
Oh no, don't. But as you say, if you say a spirit, you cannot follow me home. What have you? Eventually you're going to run into one that's going to think to yourself, "Oh, is that right? Watch
Hmm.
me." You know,
Yeah,
it's
and I
like
have. Sorry.
it's like telling a child, you can't go up there today. Aye, okay. You know, it's the same kind of mindset. Um,
Yeah,
I'm the
and
same.
one that I recently brought home was from a penitentiary. So, they're not big on authority out there anyway. So if I'm gonna, tell one of them guys, you can't do this and you can't do that, they're gonna be like, yeah, what?
And at the end of the day, if you tell a spirit, right, you can't come home with me, the spirit could be thinking, well, what are you going to do if I do come home with you? Do you know what I mean? What can you do to me? You can't do anything to me if I do come home with you.
I
If
have an
that
issue
makes
there for a
sense.
minute.
We got you back.
Yeah. What'd you say?
No, if you tell a spirit you're not coming home with me, you're not allowed to come home with me.
Mhm.
Let's just stop the spirit saying, well, is that right? What can you do to me if I do follow you home? Nothing.
No, you
Right.
can't.
You might get, as you say, they were all people once, and you could maybe bump into a spirit who was an awkward git in this life, and he just, carries it on to, and the spirit's still an awkward git, and, you have the joy of bumping into him.
My basement is free. Just go ahead and stay there. Just let me know you're
Is
coming
that
first.
is that what you done in that bit of video? Were you sitting at a table or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I was down in the basement.
That's
Oh,
some
no.
size of basement. Use about massive basements in America. You know.
That this happens to be a pretty good size one. I mean, it covers the whole, pretty much the underneath of the house. So this is a pretty good size house. I mean, like my living room is like a 30 by 20. My bedrooms are probably 20 by 20. So, it's pretty much the size of the basement that's under that area there. So it's pretty good size.
I wouldn't live in a house with a basement or an attic. I'm just, no.
I've only been in one house in my life that's had a basement. There was a friend I had in Glasgow, and he says one day, "Come on, I'll show you the." He just moved in the house. He says, "Come on, I'll show you my basement." And went downstairs, and this thing was massive, and it was all brick top walls. It was like a wee, I don't know, a nuclear bunker down the stairs. All these different rooms, and he's like, "This place is nuts." He says, "I just found it." He says, "Absolutely," and it was huge. But you get that in a lot of American films. Every house has got a basement.
Well, not every house. I mean, it all depends on the water table and where we live at. Now, you get a lot of the basement homes when you live around tornadoes and stuff like that. Your flat plain states. I don't think Florida. I don't think they have basements. They might have. I know their water table is pretty low there.
But that's the other thing that gets me about horror films. The basement could be haunted. There could be something nasty in the basement. But they always get into the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard a noise coming through the basement or the attic, I'd be out of the house. I wouldn't be looking at it with my torch and going down. I'd be like, nope, I'm away. Catch you later.
Yeah, but as I say, don't go up the stairs. They always run up the stairs. That's the thing about these films as well. They always do the opposite for what they're meant to do.
Oh, they run around in the dark. The light switch is right there, but they'd rather run away in the dark.
Yeah. Just turn the light on.
And they're trying to run away from something or somebody in these movies. Yeah, there's windows there, but they'd rather hide under a bed and hope they don't get seen. I'd be out that window.
I'd be over there going, what do y'all want?
There's Shadow saying that she loves basements, but yet she is just odd.
Well, our pronunciation of some towns is quite odd. If the house has a basement, the demons usually in the attic. They're usually hiding somewhere. But no, as Sarah says, you see people running to the door in these movies, and the door's locked. And so where do they go? They run up the stairs. Instead of heading for the first window, they run up the stairs, or somewhere like that. But
I often wonder though, why did you just run upstairs to get away? I mean, let's just go to the highest point to jump out. Yeah, that don't make any sense.
We won't go to the ground floor window. We'll go to the highest window in the house and leap out. We're guaranteed to get away from the ghost, but we might break our legs in the process. It's if you're going to make a film, to me, make it realistic.
Yeah, right.
Make it believable.
Yeah, we're going to Moundsville, November 22nd. Paranormal Underworld over there is going to. We're actually going to be staying a couple of nights, I guess, or maybe a night with Ghost Ops and Ripley. So probably be having a whole bunch going on during that week of November 22nd. I'm looking forward to that one.
Dobby said that where she grew up had a big attic above Paranormal, saying it in the fight light girls because they scratch. There's Claire saying her dad died in an attic.
Oh, sorry, Claire. Can't wait to meet all of you. So is that a big investigation you've got planned?
Yeah, that's our big one for the year. I mean, I had some more that, I got the whole promotion video out, and I did have, the clearance for these places, but now, with the cooties over here, they've closed all those down. So we're just going to make a big one for November 22nd. Maybe next year we can get to these ones that I wanted to do: the Exorcist House, the Lamp Mansion, Morris Hill. We still may do Morris Hill. I don't know. Right now it's kind of looking at, like these Mississippi videos, kind of staying away from people, that kind of thing for now.
That's clear. Clearly, your dad, passed in the attic. He says, I've though that always thought it felt cooler in there and different. Would you think that? Do you think that could possibly also be connected to our dad?
Well, I mean, yeah, it could be. I mean, if he died in that area and he's still hanging around, too bad you couldn't find out if it's exactly him. Find you a medium or something like that you actually believe in to speak to the spirit there and find out, if you're feeling uneasy and cold in that area, usually definite good signs. Because they like to pull the energy out of the space to try to communicate. So that's why I said, he's trying to, speak or make something known. That's why they pull the energy and it gets colder.
Maybe a local spiritualist church, maybe. Somebody for there.
Yeah, or just, find you a legit, paranormal investigator, that, you can use the EVPs, or maybe they have an SLS or something that could help you, prove that there's something in that area. Like I said, your mediums are more likely to tell you exactly who, what, when, and where. But I mean, there's quite a few people you could reach out to there. Find you somebody legit. I mean, I'm not saying legit is free, but usually legit people are not going to charge you too much, if anything.
It's going to be quite reasonable. I was honoured yesterday. They said I put a magnetic eyes on. Brett, seriously. I had my hair done and nobody noticed.
I know, I'm looking at it today, all pasty white and no eyelashes, just my wee tiny ones.
Ravel, Sarah had these magnetic eyelashes on last night. I'd never heard of them, but seemingly they stick to your eyes.
Oh, Scott, you put magnetic eyeliner on, and then the eyelashes have got 5 magnets on them, and it sticks to the magnetic particles in the eyeliner.
Okay.
You can tell Bale's impressed by that, same as me.
It's a game changer when it comes to false eyelashes, because normally I'll stick my finger to my eye or I'll glue my eyes shut, so it's a game changer.
I never could get those things on there. I've tried them like a couple of times, and trying to glue something to your eye is just, and I don't have that great a vision anyway, so yeah.
I've never tried it, and I don't think I ever will. But I'm glad Brett was on. You never know, Brett. One week, Granny might turn up on your live. That'll give you a fright if Granny shows up. And she'll not be wearing magnetic eyes or eyelashes or whatever.
Are you sure?
Oh, Granny's beat positive. You know what I mean? Hi, Scoots. Granny's very, very sure, trust me. I was speaking to her earlier on about it, and she's very sure about it. Granny's more than welcome to come on. Well, she's going to hold you to that. I'll see her after we come off of here. I think she's in the garden again. She's got a thing for swinging on the clothesline, the washing rope. She loves doing that. With her man Kenny on. Don't ask me, each one to their own.
Not working out there.
So I'll see her. She might pop on your you're live one week. But it's been quite a good wee chat tonight.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for
I think
having me
we're
on
going.
here.
It's always a pleasure having you on. You know, it's you're always interesting. I mean,
Thank you. And
all
yeah,
the
we'll get you some more river videos.
I've been looking forward to some more videos. So we're back on Monday night, I think. So I'll just say thanks everybody that came tonight. Sorry, Sarah.
Monday, yeah. I forgot we were off.
Before we go, there's Sam's comment. There was Sam's comment. That's very true, Sam. Why would you want false one? I got a portal box going right now. I'll drop you a wee mail soon, Eddie, my man. But thanks, Rowdy, for coming in. Enjoy the rest of your evening or afternoon, whatever. And Vale, thanks very much. If you want to hang about for a couple of minutes,
Sure. It's good
that'd
seeing
be
everybody
great.
covering back.
And we'll see everybody else on Monday.
Yep.
Monday? Aye, Monday. So take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and stay safe, wherever part of the globe that you're in. All right. Bye. Bye.
Bye.